So these are some of the handmade gifts that I have made. So these are mainly the knitting items. I'll show you those first and then we'll go to the sewing items. So I think I started this in October and these are all going to be gifted. Now I started a program which requires me to sit there for 5 hours 5 days a week, and I was getting about maybe 3 hours, sometimes even more depending on the week, sometimes less, of just knitting. So that's like a part-time knitter. So that's the only reason I was able to get through these gifts. So my dad wanted a scarf. I knit him in the same color, a knit, I think it was the knit 2 purl one. I really like that look, but it was a lot more airier. So he requested another scarf, or I thought of another scarf and found this stitch, and I will put everything in the Ravelry page so you can have a look. But I think I cast it on maybe 35 stitches or something like that, and use this is 100% merino wool Cascade yarn, and I did superwash with it because you never know when you give gifts what they're going to do with it. So he has 2 of these. This one is definitely a lot more thicker and more dense, so it's nicer for the winter right now. And then the other one is a little bit more airy, so he can keep one in the car if he forgets, and then one if he's wearing it. So he already has those gifts, but I really like this color. He really liked it. I thought he would go for like a black, but he actually says not a black, more of a blue. So just a personal preference. So my next one, I wanted to do something a bit different, so I did a basket weave, and so this is another scarf that I'm going to give to my mom. And what I did is I just held it together, this pink and this brown, and it turned out really nice. So for this one, I think I cast on 45 stitches, and this is a Cascade yarn, but then I bought the brown, and I think it was from something, I bought it in an IMO, and I think it had the name of it in it. But I just held it together, so it does have the brown is alpaca, and then the pink is 100% merino. And I think the brown might have some silk. I'll have to look at it, but yeah, I wanted just something really, really wide. I must have actually cast on more stitches than 45, but I'll put those all in the project notes. But just really nice, figured out the basket weave, figured out how wide I want it to be, and just kind of cast that on. So nice and squishy and soft. And I was just done blocking that. And this one is going to be for my mom's husband. And so I wanted to do the same basket weave. I think his might have been 45 stitches, but I'll put all that down there. And so this wool is the same as this, so just different color happening. But it's really interesting because just to use the same type of wool just in different colors and different seed stitches to see the contrast and the difference. So I wanted my mom and her husband's to be matching, not in the color, but in the texture. So I thought that was going to be really nice. And then I wanted to knit, and this is still drying, so that's why it still has a bit of fuzz on it. So these two are the same colorway and the same yarn. It's just in a different stitch. And I forget how much I cast it on. I have it written down, but I was surprised how squishy and dense it actually really got. So this is a herringbone stitch. Now I did do a little fudge, and I skipped or I messed up a row or something, and it dropped a stitch, and then later on I guess I messed it up again and I picked it up. So it's a little bit uneven, but I think it's just still drying, so that's why it's got a little bit of a fuzz to it. It's still a little bit damp, so it's a really nice, dense, heavy fabric, and it's just more like a good statement piece rather than like a soft, squishy one. I think if I made it like this size, it could have been, but it's still pretty stiff compared to this. This is definitely a lot squishier. This is definitely the most squishiest one out of all of them. Wow. I guess maybe the content material makes a difference, but so that one is, these are all 100% merino superwash. It's Cascade, I think it's 128. But yeah, I just had a really interesting time doing different stitches and seeing how the fabric plays out and what I can do. So these ones took me about, I think about 15 hours to knit up. It depends how long as well. I think because my mom's is a lot wider, it took me a bit. But the herringbone one, oh my goodness, that took me a while. Even though it's thinner, it's just more of a thinking stitch. So if you messed up a row, you kind of had to go back, but really think about how to go back. You couldn't just rip it out. So the next ones we will talk about are socks. So this is Briggs & Little, the Tuffy socks. So I made a pair for my dad. So these are just all the same yarn. It's it has some nylon in it, but it's milled in the East Coast of Canada, so I'm on the West Coast of Canada. I did a little messed up, but these are just my dad's, so it's not a big deal. And then I made some for my mom, same fiber content. And then I didn't do a red stripe on hers, I just did the pink and the white. And then I have, for my secret person, we do Secret Santa in our house. And so I got my sister's partner. So he has size 14 shoes. And so my sister was like, oh, I told her to like measure his foot from the back of the heel to the toe. And she measured it and she told me it was a foot, like 12 inches. I was like, seriously, it's 12 inches? Like, and she's like, yeah, he wears a size 14 foot. Anyhow, I did a ridiculously long, like it came out to here, like we were just laughing how long it was. I was like, I don't think his foot's like this long. Like this just looks completely crazy. Anyhow, he was only a 10.5-inch foot from the back of the heel to here. So I will link the pattern below. So what I did is I got the pattern from a lady on Ravelry, and then I already know how to knit socks from my vanilla sock type thing, and so I just used my vanilla sock techniques and just applied the rows and how much I needed to pick up for each area. From the other pattern. So it's kind of mishmashing two patterns together, but I think it worked out really well. They're going to be nice and thick and durable socks. So it does have a bit of nylon in it. And I didn't block these, but I'm going to gift them. So I'm hoping they're okay because it's 2 days before Christmas and I don't think they'll dry on time. These scarves have taken like 3 days to dry. So I don't have much hope. I don't really have much hope if I washed them now, so I will leave a little note on them for them to do that. Alright, so I have a bunch of mini little things to show you. I did little mini advent. I'll show you them. Aren't these so cute? So I did a little mini set. So I did one for myself and then I did one for my sister's partner. His name's Jason. And he co-owns a coffee shop in Nanaimo called Drip. And so I've put in, you can find like beading. I used to do a lot of beading and you can find beading software online that's free. And you put in a picture and then it'll calculate how many stitches and where to put it in to put on a pattern. So I was able to do that pretty easily and just scale it down. So I think that was my first one, so my D wasn't long enough. But it was funny because I don't know when they started doing it, but they started selling hats, little toques with drip on the brim instead of the top part. But wouldn't be able to get it on the brim. So I have little mini sock, just a little festive one. I was going to do more, but it's just taking me a while. So I might do another one. We'll see. I wanted to make another one of these hats, but more like this style, so it has more room for the D, just because those are the colors, but I would like to make him another white and a black one. I also wanted to make him a little sweater that said drip. I think I can do it. The sweater just takes me a long time. The two little things I can do in about an hour, but the sweater, I don't know why. It's taking me like 5 hours to make a little one or something ridiculous, especially when there's a pattern. Then I did a little heart and then just a little textured. This little mushroom, which I thought was super cute. So I'm gonna make another little mushroom for myself. Thank you very much. And I'll show you some other ones that I haven't put up on. So those are the ones I'm going to be giving him away. And then I did a little mitten, and this one won't go to him because I haven't figured out how to do the sizing correctly. It's supposed to be cuter than this. But I mean, it is pretty cute. It's just really fat. And I wanted it to be a little bit more in proportion. So this one was the first one I did, and it was too tall for me, but I'm going to finish up the little thumb hole and then I'll put it on mine. And then this is back like in November I did this. So I thought it says drip drip, and I don't know my original thought on this. And so what I was thinking is weave in all my ends. I have some cardstock and make it into a little book. Oh, my sister's here. I'm gonna put this all away because I haven't shown her. So that's my wall. That's the wall of items that I am keeping. So I have a little boot thing, little sock, but that's at a wall. This turned into like a finger puppet size. I don't know what happened to that toque. And then I used the correct wall on this. So, and then a little mushroom, another little toque, and a little mushroom there. And I'll show you these because my sister's going to pick them up. But they're little stockings, well, big stockings actually. So she wanted, it's linen stockings, so she just wanted something really plain and simple. And I did have to interface it because I don't know how else you would get the linen to stay. I mean, it's already starting to wrinkle up, and I did iron them. But yeah, and the lining is just linen as well, so the same color. We were thinking of putting this color on top of this color for the trim, but with this pattern I used up all the fabric, so I wasn't able to do that. So, but yeah, they turned out really nice, super happy, and there was like a free tutorial online. So and I made the straps longer than the tutorial requested, just so that you could actually get something in there, because her straps are super tiny. So I'm going to show you the other sewing projects. So I sewed up these bags, so one for my sister and her partner and one for my mom. So I noticed in the summertime my mom was buying these dollar store tablecloths, and my sister and her partner go out quite a bit for like picnics, barbecue type things. So I thought I would sew them a tablecloth. And then it came with, I got enough fabric to make some napkins with it. So I thought that would be super nice. I don't know if they'll actually use them. I think my mom would, but I really like that fabric. And then I had this scrap fabric. So I went to an estate sale and got a huge bag of fabric for like 20 bucks, like crazy amount. And it had all these remnants in it, and you know, I washed them this summer and dried them and figuring out what to do with them. And I just thought, I'm just gonna make a bunch of bags instead of wrapping paper this year. So I made this bag one. I made 2 of these for my mom because we are gonna go to the Dutch store today and then get her a whole bunch of Dutch food. So I want to be able to put it into this, and then the rest of her gifts will go into there. And then I had this wool fabric from that estate sale as well. I think it might be wool and poly together, but it is pretty scratchy and itchy. But I didn't have enough to make like a full garment out of it. Like I would be able to make a wrap, a really nice wrap. But yeah, I just didn't, it's pretty itchy. So I thought, oh, this is perfect because then I can use it. It's more of a masculine color. I really like it though. So I was debating to make something with it, but I ended up making these bags. So like I'm getting him a cutting board, a really nice locally made cutting board. So I made one that size, and then I just made a couple other ones. We're getting some food for my mom's husband as well, so I wanted to put something in there. And then just a little bag. I was thinking if I can make a little bag, but I ran out of this material for all those little mini ornament type things. But those are all my, well, no, I lied. Hold on. All right, I found the other items that I sewed. So I have, these are 100% cotton. It's more of a heavy duty. They're originally used to line curtains, but they're really great at absorbing to make dish towels. So these ones are going to be more for my sister. It's Moo, is a Friends reference, the TV show Friends. It's like a cow's opinion, it doesn't matter. And then a saying, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And adult-ish. So that will go to my sister. I was planning to make more, but it's Christmas Eve, and I can only do so much. I also want to see if they use them, and I'm pretty sure they will, but I can always make more later. So these ones are for my mom. So dream, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. If you can't convince them, confuse them. I had some other sayings for my mom from like authors and people that she admired, so I will do that later, maybe for like a Mother's Day thing. And then a hope one. So these ones were just more of a test ones, but I know she really likes pink, so that'll be good. So give her some of those. And then I made handkerchiefs. So this is cotton cotton voile. So they recommended at Fabricland when I went to the fabric store, cotton lawn. And the cotton lawn was next to this cotton voile, and the cotton voile was way softer than the cotton lawn. So I even asked the lady there, I was like, am I just tripping, or like, is this softer? Do you think this is going to be better? And so we went with this cotton. I need to look it up. It is very, very soft. It is see-through though. So I'm hoping it'll be okay for a hanky. I can also just double layer it when they use it as a hanky. So this will go to my mom's husband. And yeah, it was about the same price as cotton lawn, very see-through, and I'm glad it was in white because he was looking for some white. So the next thing, I think it's my last thing. I don't know about you, but I have, it's not so much about Christmas because I don't really celebrate it. I'll celebrate more solstice than anything. It's more about the deadlines. So just having a deadline and getting all this stuff done. I do like giving and making people gifts. I really do like that, and pushing myself to a deadline and then it all being over and then being like, oh, I can go back to making it for myself. So I did hit this already with an iron. It is silk, so you can tell here it did stress the fabric. More so, it was fine down here. So I just wonder if it's the frame hoop and also like the tension on the thread. So because it is not everywhere. So this was kind of my test sample, but I'm going to be giving it to my sister. I got some more silk done, like cut up, but I didn't have it embroidered or anything. And it's not exactly the right kind of silk as well because you can see through it. So if you're wanting to give it as a gift, it's not the best one. But this is a line from the Princess's Bride when she's up at the altar and she's supposed to be marrying the prince, which she doesn't want to, but this is what the priest or the reverend or whoever's up there says. So it's kind of a running saying in our family. So I'm going to use this and wrap up the towels, and my sister also wanted some chopsticks, so I found some heat resistant chopsticks and then table chopsticks, so like cooking chopsticks. So I forgot to mention what I was using this silk fabric for. So I just made it into a rectangle just so that I could wrap up some of the towels, or the dish towels, to make furoshiki. So it's Japanese gift wrapping using fabric. They do more knots and stuff to it, so you can reuse it, regift it, and do all that stuff. If I had more fabric, usually they do like a whole fancy flower bow thing and different things, but yeah, there's lots of tutorials for that, and I should probably watch it, so it makes it a little bit fancier. But yeah, it'd be interesting to get different colors or different sayings you can put on it, and then they can continue to be regifted. But yeah, you can see it's definitely, the silk is see-through, so not the best quality to use for that gift, but that's okay. So I made one last bag out of my coveted plaid 100% cotton fabric. I was going to use this one for the bags, but I was like, no. I want to make a garment with it. Anyhow, so this made just a small little one, so I can put all the little advanced stuff into it. And I just started to make, it's like a little book. So it's a little bit crinkly in the inside, but what I'm going to do is cut up some sheets of paper and then probably puncture some holes in the middle and make it like a little book size. So I'm just having this. I wish what I should have done is blocked it first, so it was a lot more straight, because you can see like the side is poking out, so it's not very straight. And I got some of the glue on it, so I'm gonna have to just wipe it off. But I just used some carpenter's glue, and then this was just cardstock from like a back of a legal pad type thing. So and then just put a piece of white paper in the inside and chopped it down. So I don't know, I thought that was kind of cute. Okay, so it's Christmas Eve now. I swear this little, even though it's super tiny, I think it took me like 5 hours, maybe 4. No, I'm pretty sure 5. Anyhow, or maybe even longer, I don't really know. I finished the body last night, and then you do the sleeves separate. So I finished up the sleeves this morning because I was just so tired last night. So yeah, the arms look a little different. Oh well, if I had time I would block it, but yeah, it just says drip, so I'm really happy. And it's funny, so it's the same yarn as this one, it's just that the color work is different. Like this is the same, this is actually the chunkier weight one, and this is like a fingering for the blue, and this is definitely not a fingering. So it's just interesting like how the coloring really cinches it in or blocks it out, because it's not like I did any shaping to this at all. And then this one made it a bit more chunkier just because of the yarn that was used, so it filled it out a bit more. So I'm very happy. Last night I was trying to figure out, oh my goodness, do I need to reverse the image or what? Because these ones are knitted flat. So I knit one of these last night as well. And so you can see I just added a little bit more room for the D. But I knitted this one last night, and these ones are knitted flat, so you can tell the direction. But when you're using, I do these with DPNs. So if you're ever wanting to make some of these, I'm using these. These are the Prim DPNs. I really like them. They do have this little ball point at the end, and then they don't slide off, and they're not like metal needles hurt my hands, and I didn't want super slick ones like bamboo, so I find these do have the perfect grip. I have broken off one of the little tips, but it's not a huge deal, just because they give you 5 of them, so just depending on what project you're working on. And then I finished this morning as well. I wish I kind of washed it because it does have a little bit of the glue in it, but oh well. And I did take a needle and thread just to the back, because it wasn't, what I should have done is got the paper and wrapped it around the cardstock first so that the cardstock edges weren't showing, and then glued it in. And then I just took some pieces of paper and I just sewed it into the middle. And I was going to write like established, like when they started the business and stuff, so but I actually don't have really great handwriting for this. So my sister, his partner, like my sister's partner's business, so my sister has really nice handwriting, so she could probably do a lot better job, so I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, the back isn't, I don't know. I'm just going to take a little bit of water, but it's the glue, and I kind of fudged up on it. So, but yeah, the front looks a lot better. So I thought that would just be like a little cute book. So I'll put them all into here and then head out to drop off gifts today. And I just wanted to show you the herringbone. So it's finally dried. It looks so much nicer. So when it's wet, it definitely has like this halo-y haze, and then when it's dried, it definitely doesn't. So I was happy about that, because I was a little bit worried just if it was the stitch that I was using, but just don't look at it. So here's my fudge ups. You can tell here I was trying to stretch it out a little bit so it wasn't such a drastic shift, but I somehow dropped some stitches in, so it's thinner on this side. And then later on in the scarf, I evidently picked up stitches because the other side of the scarf is back to the original size. But you know what? I don't think you can tell that much of a difference. So it's definitely more of an advance, like you have to be really looking at the stitch, and I should probably just made something really simple, but I really wanted to try something a bit different. But yeah, I really like this herringbone stitch. It's definitely something you can't just, you have to put some mind matter into it when you're knitting. So